welcome to this first guide. Movement on Witch It is in my opinion a must to master. It allows you to get out of complicated situations and to have an advantage over your opponents who are the hunters. But we will also see that some movement mechanics are accessible for hunters, despite the fact that this guide will mostly talk about mechanics for witch. Before going into the core of the subject, this difficulty scale will be displayed for each mechanic that you will see. This difficulty scale is defined according to my experience, so I advise you to practice by creating a custom game to learn these mechanics if they are totally new for you. The quick return is a basic mechanic in Witch It, especially if you play in Hunt and Hack game mode. The quick return is done by rotating the camera in the opposite direction using the move forward key. By using this mechanic, you won't lose speed when you want to turn back to go in the opposite direction. Here is a comparison between the quick return and the classic turn back using the move backward key. Next, the jump crouch. The jump crouch is in my opinion one of the mechanics you will use the most in Witch It, especially in the Hunt and Hack game mode. To make a jump crouch, you just have to use the jump key, and while you're in the middle of the jump, you have to keep holding the crouch key until you reach the surface. The jump crouch allows you to reach structures that are difficult to reach with a simple jump. This is an important mechanic, and you will quickly get used to using the crouch key on every jump to reach higher or further structures. Finally, the jump crouch is possible with the hunter. The ladder jump. If you didn't know yet, you can jump from a ladder in any direction. To make a ladder jump, you just have to rotate the camera in the direction you want to jump and use the jump key. It's an easy mechanic to learn, and for example it allows you to fake hunters who are behind you. But of course the ladder jump is possible with the hunter. Okay, let's move on to the jump pad boost. The jump pad boost is a mechanic that for me is still difficult to regulate because it's pixel perfect. The jump pad boost is done with the jump pad, any jump pad in fact, and what you have to do is to use the jump key when you are about to trigger the jump pad. This makes you jump 2 times higher than usual. This mechanic can be really useful in Hunt and Hack game mode to reach some spots on the map that are not possible to reach by jumping or with the jump crouch. Of course, the jump boost is possible with the witch. The flying boost. It's probably this mechanic that pushed me to make this video because there are so many things to say. To start, I will talk about the velocity on Witch It. The velocity on Witch It has no limit. That is, you can move at a higher speed on any map that has a jump pad or other elements that we will see later in this video. The flying boost can only be done with the witch using the fly skill. To perform this mechanic, you will need to transform into a prop, any of them, then before you take the jump pad, you will start to hold the key transform into prop. And it is when the transformation back into witch is almost over that you will take the jump pad. It is absolutely necessary that the transformation is done immediately after you have taken the jump pad so that the velocity is strong. On some map like the Morgary Forest, it is possible to make this mechanic with the Void. The process is exactly the same as for a jump pad, except that you have to find the right timing to get a really strong velocity. that you know how the velocity works on widget, let's talk about other elements that can also increase it, like the portal boost. On some maps, there are portals that allow you to get to certain parts of the map, and these portals allow you to gain speed always with the fly skill of the witch. To be able to make a portal boost, you will need to have a minimum of speed first. You can jump into the portal, or by using the flying boost mechanic previously explained. Immediately after you enter a portal, you will have to use the fly skill of the witch. There is also a possibility to gain speed with the firework props. Press the prop action key to activate the prop effect, and then hold the key transform into a prop to transform back into a witch. The firework will give you a boost of height, and when you are falling, you will gain velocity before taking a portal. On Flint Falls map, the portal is covered, so it is not possible to take the speed as easily. You will have to transform into a prop, and when you are about to pass the portal, you will have to hold the transform into prop key to transform back into a witch after you pass the portal to have a stronger velocity. This method is exactly the same as the flying boost, except that it is a portal. The slide boost is one of those mechanics that require time before being fully acquired. The slide boost can be done with one of the above mentioned methods, the firework props, the jump pad, or by jumping from a high spot to gain velocity, while keeping the fly skill of the witch. To make a slide boost, you will have to fall on a slidable surface with the velocity acquired during the fall, so that it is transformed into horizontal speed and so you can fly across the map. Immediately after the slide, it will be necessary to use the fly skill to keep the velocity. This mechanic works on many sliding surfaces. It can be a spike, a palm leaf, or even a rock. In short, there are many sliding surfaces. How can I miss the cannon launch? Probably the most innovative mechanic to this day. It's not easy to learn, but I can guarantee you that the satisfaction of doing this mechanic is incredible. Still, with the fly skill of the witch, to achieve the cannon launch you will need the cannon prop. Once you are transformed into a cannon, you will need to place yourself on an inclined surface and also lean the front of the cannon against that surface. You can stabilize the prop by holding the stabilize prop key, then press the prop action key to activate the cannon, and when the Son of the Week is about to stop, you will hold the transform into prop key to transform back into a witch. The witch will go in the opposite direction, so you will have to rotate the camera to fly through the map with high velocity. Last things, the front of the cannon must be leaned equitably between horizontal and vertical. If you are leaning too much horizontally, you will touch the ground, and if you are too much vertically, you won't get enough velocity. Last mechanic of this video, the bunny hop. The bunny hop is possible with a high velocity. With the previous mechanics I mentioned, it is possible to make a bunny hop. What you have to do is to simply press the jump key as soon as the witch or the return touch the ground. It's pretty much pixel perfect, and you will have to find the right timing to make an excellent bunny hop. I advise you to practice on the map Shard of Wiccara because it has the particularity to give velocity by going in the sandstorm. The video is almost over, and I would like to thank the widget community for finding these different mechanics or bugs, if we can call them like that. Thank you also for watching this guide about movement on widget. It was something I wanted to do for quite some time, and today it's done. So yeah, see you next time.